doing to prepare for what Jack called the cliff edge of Brexit. I'll start with Councillor Davis.
It wasn't my handbag, by the way. The Brexit, really, I mean, it changes day by day, and I mean that the government haven't really got a sense of what's going to be happening with Brexit at the moment. I mean, we at North Tyneside there is a lot of we've got European funding, and obviously what we've got to do is look towards replacing that funding with something else. But as it is, it's an unknown territory. We don't know what's really been happening and what the negotiations are going to be like, and what if we're going to be a hard Brexit or a soft Brexit. That means like coming out and not having any trade deals with Europe, or if we're going to have trade deals with Europe and how that's going to look. All the things around like the Human Rights Act and things like that. What's that going to look like? It's really. It is confusing at the moment, but I'm sure that like obviously officers in the council are working towards like looking at what funding we get at the present time and how we're going to like use that and how we're going to like look at the future without that. But I'm personally I'm a Remain. I want to remain in Europe, and I think that was my main argument for 16 and 17-year-olds, because the vote didn't include you for Brexit, and really you are the people it's going to affect the most, which I found that saddened me. But I think it's just watch this space at the moment and see what's going to be happening at a government level, and see where we're going to stand off that. Thanks.
Councillor Hodson, obviously the council does get European funding. There are other ramifications. What sort of preparations do you think need to be in place?
Well, as the opposition, I have asked these questions, and I think we've just heard there is some dismay at the moment, not knowing quite where we're going. But if we are coming completely out, I think the council needs to test and assess the effect it will have on local businesses. We have major plans to develop the Tyne, for example. Will it have effect on those businesses? In which case, we need to be looking hard at what that might infer. I think also jobs. A lot of jobs in the borough are government jobs. I think, will they change? They may change in style, but they may change in number as well. So that's something that may hit us quite hard. And then we're told we're going to accept European law and adopt into our law. I have already done that, I think. But that will change in time. I just wonder what those laws will change, which ones will change, and how that might affect us. We're told employment laws, for example, may come up for review. That might be quite important as well. And with laws come regulations. I think, I couldn't tell you how many, but there's dozens and dozens of regulations, not just laws, come from Europe. Some of those will be changing. On the positive side, I think there's opportunities. I was a Brexiteer. I like the idea of being out of Europe and independent. Opportunities for what? Opportunities to extend our interest in other countries, certainly the Commonwealth countries, which we've grown away from. I think that might mean a lot of travel for people, including, especially your age, in the future, to regenerate that. I think there'll be a lot of opportunities in government to work hard to achieve these new relationships. So again, there could be some very interesting jobs in government. Along with languages. Languages in studies have been down deteriorating, and I think we may have to start learning a lot more languages and using them, including Chinese and Japanese and so on and so on. But I think there's some real negatives, and we've heard about those. The opportunities excite me more than the others.
Thank you, Councillor Watson. Chloe, you're a business person. You were telling us earlier that you've just made your first business delegation into the European Union. You've been to Copenhagen, so you're forming links with European Union partner businesses. How do you feel institutions, councils, the government are preparing for Brexit?
The honest answer? I have no idea, because people don't tell you what they want you to know or hear until they're ready to tell you that. So I went on a trade mission to Copenhagen in March, as a business to look into the potential of working with other businesses abroad. And on my level, that's a very small level. So it'd be my marketing consultancy working with another business who wants to market themselves in England, or vice versa, they want some support. So for me, Brexit is likely, I think, and I'm just guessing here, going to affect me way less, considering I don't have a headquarters there. Definitely won't in the future. You know, I won't be sending staff there, or I won't have staff, or whatever. So for me, the implications might be that obviously tax laws, or how I get paid, or how I invoice, or you know, the kind of logistics of working with another business anyway. I think that's probably going to affect me. The exchange rates, for example. So will I have to put my prices up? So I still earn what I want, so my hourly rate. But when I invoice a client, I'm going to have to account for kind of a drop in interest rate when I get paid, or all these different things. And so for me as a business is very new to exporting. That's all things I've still got to figure out anyway. So I'm not too, dare I say it, panicked about that side of things yet, because I haven't really made that much of a footprint into. But I can imagine for a lot of businesses and industries. I know Nissan, for example, in Sunderland, they export cars all over the world. And was it that I think I read that they threatened to move their headquarters elsewhere if we voted for Brexit. So things like that, I appreciate they've got a kind of a vested interest as a business. But for my very small business, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect me. And all I can do is make sure that I'm reading a variety of newspapers, fake news, but also kind of making sure I sign up to bulletins and keep myself aware and ask people and ask mentors for help in how this might affect me.
Very good, and that's a very good point. Keep well informed. Jack, you're obviously an opinionated young man. It's a very good question. How do you feel, dare I say it, the adults, your government, the people that voted either way on the referendum, how do you feel that adults are dealing with this, which is essentially going to affect you and your generation for, well, decades to come?
I think they could do a bit better in doing negotiations. It doesn't seem like it's going very well at the moment, but we'll just have to see what they can get out of the negotiations, see what the deal's like in the end. So.
Would you like to be a politician when you're a little bit older?
Maybe.
That was a very good political answer. Well, I thought that was a great range of questions that we've asked. Sadly, we're coming towards the end. We had some scripted questions. We had a question from Twitter, because this was a debate that was taking place on Twitter, and you'll be able to look back over the questions and some of the pictures and so on using that hashtag NTYPQT. There will be a report drawn up from this debate, all part of the Democracy Week that you've been taking part in. I've been very impressed with the questions. I'm sure the panel have too. It just leaves me to thank the panel, and they are, from my right to left, they are Chloe Hall, Councillor Ed Hodgson, Wendy Burke, Robin Fry, Councillor Kath Davis, and Sergeant David Foy. Thank you very much for attending today.
So first of all, just to reflect what Adrian's already said, thank you to all of you taking part. Thank you for the little impromptu exercise we did there. We did notice nobody else in the building had to evacuate, just us, but thank you very much for that. Thank you to the panel for taking part. As Adrian said, we will be pulling a report together that we'll send out, and we'll also include information about what the other things that have happened over Local Democracy Week, and possibly some of the ideas that we really want to tweak for next year to make it even bigger and better. So we hope you'll all get involved in that. And just one final thanks to Adrian. So if I could just ask Scarlett from Rotherham to just confirm here. Thank you. So Adrian's done this every year for us. And I think it's slightly more creative with the thing. Just saying, Laura's wrapping there.
It's a bomb.
Thank you very much.
That's fantastic. I have had a range of North Tyneside themed gifts down here. There was a picture of St Mary's Island. There was a book that I think is the history of North Tyneside. I can't remember last year, but I don't do this for gifts, but every year, you know, I come back because who knows what I'm going to get. Thank you very much for your patience today. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex.